I can't hear you, Scott. Can you hear me?
Am I unmuted now?
There you go. I can hear you now.
All right. So,
So you did your whole intro muted.
yeah. Well, no music, because yeah, that's all right. But you did see the video. You did see the video, and
no, I saw nothing.
Oh, really?
It went to black totally. So finally, I went out and came back in because
well, it went black because somehow I closed the tab on StreamYard.
Oh,
right in the middle of getting started. So, yeah. Well, it was just a crazy thing. Right? Yeah. So right before I was getting ready, just taking notes and getting ready for this networking Q&A time, I had a client call, and we got a big project going on, and so my mind was going there, and then I played I had some audio. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it was bad. And I said, I need to reboot my computer. So of course I had a bunch of files open. I had to save those files, shut everything down, reboot the computer. And then it comes out and I'm like, oh, it's like now. Open up StreamYard, get the thing going, find the opening video, which didn't matter because no one saw it. Well, you know what? Could be worse.
Yeah, when you save it, it's okay. People will see it later.
Yeah. Well, this is a networking Q&A, and Russ Hedge, the inspiration specialist, is here with me. And in a couple of minutes, hey, David Brown. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about something exciting coming on this week. And I'll just tell you, it is an experience because it is the experience. We'll talk about that a little bit. When I started the whole networking Q&A of Monday morning, kick off your week, think about how you market your business through your connections, through that network, through that professional network. It is the most effective, most efficient way to build a business. Anytime, if you have a business, if you're a solo entrepreneur, freelance professional, small business owner, and you do anything online, searching about how to market your business, you're going to get tagged, and these ads are going to follow you all around the internet. It may change with the new Apple iOS release 12, and that limits limit some of that opportunity for marketers. But you're going to find a lot of ads that are going to chase you around and say, do this and make a lot of money. It's going to be run ads on Facebook or TikTok or Google ads and make money, or become a speaker and get on stages and make money. Write a book or do a blog or create a podcast and make money. And all of these things are great ideas, and they can work for your business. But the basic fundamental is, first of all, have a solution to some problem that people experience that are willing to pay you for that solution. So a customer, you need to have a problem, a solution, and a customer. Those are the three things you need to have a business to, essentially, as they say, make money. And so if you don't advertise, if you don't market your business in some way, it is like flirting in the dark. Only you know what's going on. So you have to share. You have to share what you're doing. And business networking is a great way to do that. Now, if you have a business that requires hundreds or thousands of customers, then paid advertising is something that you need to do. Most of us that are the solo entrepreneurs, small businesses, freelance professionals, we don't need hundreds or thousands of customers. We just need a handful of customers. We couldn't handle 100 customers. We need, like, if we're doing coaching or consulting, we just need a few customers. And the best way to do that is through your network. And Russ is here with me because he is a master at connecting and building relationships and growing businesses. He's been doing this for, well, we can tell you it's been in the decades that Russ has been doing marketing and connecting with people. Yeah, that's right. He looks pretty good for all the wear and tear. I tell you that. Russ
Oh, thank you so much.
care of himself. So,
Yeah.
With that, Russ, let's talk a little bit about networking and kind of what is it that you think is the key step in being effective at networking?
I think that people's mindset is really the key when it comes down to it, because networking and connecting and marketing is, I'm sure you've all heard this, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It is an ongoing process. And if you do not prepare yourself for that, sometimes people get discouraged really easy and give up. So I think that the thing is to just be really super active and to really reach out. It's up to you. I mean, you can't wait for everybody to come to you. It's up to you to connect and to network with people. And I was just thinking, Scott, this weekend, just like this Wednesday, for those of you who don't know, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, just throw that in there, is coming. And, these are events we create because it generates activity. It's a good thing. It's because it comes from our heart. It's what we want to do, but we have to actually do something with it. So we're taking our heart, our passion, all that we have, and we're putting that out there in a actual form of some kind of activity that helps us network and connect with people. Live shows are incredible nowadays, as we are on one right now. But it's just important to be very active. And so remember, mindset. And then remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And then just be active and get moving.
Yeah, the marathon is that's it's funny because so many people in whatever the advertising is, let's just say they buy a billboard and they put the billboard up, and 2 hours after it goes up, they're going to be calling the billboard company saying, "How many customers am I getting?" People want immediate results.
Yeah,
but that's not really the way it works.
Well, and a lot of that too with networking and connecting is making the right connections to improve the big picture. It doesn't mean that those connections are going to necessarily be customers that are going to pay you for your service. They may be people like David Brown, who's waiting to come on, who are willing to help you and make a logo for you, or do help you with the video, or help you with giving positive, exposure out there. And so just like with my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, which is available on Amazon, by the way, that book came about because of networking and connecting. I mean, most of what that went into, from my editing to the logo, to the cover work, to the actual endorsements, most all of that came about through networking, connecting. In fact, I would say over time, over my many years, all of it did.
That's as I talk about in our groups, in our network, there's really 5 roles that we have. There's that different members of our network have. So you have your mentors and advisors. Who is it that you turn to advice? Mentees. Who is it that you're putting into? Customers, obviously part of our network. They're a great source of return business and referrals because they have direct experience. We have advocates. Those are the people that actually stand up and say, this is somebody that I endorse. I really endorse. If you need a website and you need a WordPress website, then definitely talk to David Brown. And so I would be an advocate for him in that case. And then partners, and partners are people that add value that you don't, that solve problems that you don't do. That's actually the largest part of our network. And it's that sometimes we're termed as being connectors, where you're just going, oh, I know I can turn to this person because they know who can solve my problem. I know that they can find the right WordPress guy, or the right plumber for me, or the right mechanic, or a graphic artist or photographer. So partners are actually the biggest part of our network, but we don't expect them to give us referrals. That's actually the advocates that do that.
Well, and we need to make sure and listen to our partners and take good advice. Now, I can give you a good example with my friend D. Scott Smith right here. There's times when I have actually argued with him over what he's telling me, only to think about it longer and think, oh man, he is really right about that. I mean, you need to listen to people, and sometimes it's hard, but you need to be constantly moving to improve yourself. And partners are a great way to do that, because they may be doing things that you want to be better at. And we all have our strengths and weaknesses, but it's important to learn and grow. So move forward and learn and grow as you go, because we're not going to get it perfect the first time. And I love the phrase "fail forward" from John Maxwell. We're going to fail, we're going to do things, but we're going to keep moving forward. There's things that I'm doing with my business. I'm always trying to refine my message. And I think if it's not hitting home with what I really need, then I need to tweak it and refine it. And so those are things we got to constantly move forward. And that's where partners come in handy, because they can help you out. And then most of those will be also advocates for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so understanding who is in your network,
right,
and what roles they have is important, because you don't want to place expectations on people for a role that they don't fulfill.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and that's, it's important to keep that big picture in mind. Where are the roles? Where are the pieces in your life? And where are the things moving forward? And not to get discouraged. And I tell myself the same thing. Small business entrepreneurs it can be up and down. You can be on cloud nine, everything is awesome. And then you can be down thinking, oh my goodness, what the heck am I doing? Whoever thought I could do this, right? So you're going to be up and down, but you've got to remember, and I always remind myself this, as well as people that I coach, and that is, look at the good things that are happening. Look at the good things. Look at the live show that Scott and I are going to release this Wednesday. Look at the podcast I released this morning, and we'll release another one Thursday, Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, ongoing things. Look at the great connections like David Brown, like Alan Hennessy, like Jim Fuse, like Randy Stunt, all these people that we're connecting with around the world and that are helping us. Because like for our live show, Scott, Alan and Jim, who I just mentioned, both gave us some technical advice and helped us.
Made it possible, I'll say.
Yeah, exactly. And so you learn from these things. So why create the wheel, right?
Well, that's the wheel. The first place that you should turn is into your network. You should lean into your network. And, these are your mentors and advisors. So I would say in this case, Alan and Jim both work as advisors to us. We know that I could turn to them for great advice about how to do live broadcasting, and that Jim was a great leader for us in recommending StreamYard.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys want people that are willing to advocate for you and are willing to help you, then you first have to reach out and advocate and help for other people.
Right.
So, for example, when I am going to ask people to give me good reviews, I give other people reviews. When I want to reach out and help people, when I want people to help me, I'm going to help people, not because I'm just trying to get things, but because that's how the process works. When you're giving and helpful, and Jim, for example, if the Tim and Jim show, or the Jim and Tim show, whichever way it goes, I forget. When they send me a thing to share and to do things for them, I do it because they're my friends and I want to help them, And so that's the thing that we need to keep in mind, is we need to be willing to help other people. We got to constantly remind ourselves, all of us, me included, and then those kind of people are going to be willing to turn around. Like Alan, when I talked to him, it was a no-brainer. Whatever you want, whatever help you want, just let me know, Russ. I'll help you out. I mean, that's awesome. What a good friend that is. Somebody that it's not what's in it for me. He's just like, hey, I'm happy to help you.
Yeah. So he created the background and the graphic for the experience with Russ and Scott coming up on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time at a live outlet near you. Here's a great example of that, as you were just talking about giving back. So this morning, as I was just checking on some notifications, one of the members of our Business Networking Tips Facebook group and a good friend, Bridget Willard. Now, she just recently relocated from California to San Antonio, Texas, and it's been a while since I've been there. And I tell you, she has been posting some pictures of the San Antonio Riverwalk and some different iconic places there. It makes me want to go back and visit. I look forward to that opportunity. So, Bridget is an expert on Twitter and using Twitter as a marketing tool. And this is, again, different businesses. Twitter is a great tool to use. Well, she's an expert in it. And actually, we connected up through Twitter originally. And so she wrote a book. And she's got, I think it's her, I don't know which number book this is for her on Twitter, but she's released a new book. It's on Amazon. And she put out a request and said, could you add it to your wish list? Because apparently there's a category for the most wished for book.
Oh, wow.
And so I went into Amazon. I added her book to the wish list. I'm actually gonna buy her book because I'm interested in how we can use different tools for marketing. So I'll add it to the wish list so we can help her out. Then I'll buy her book, just like I bought the Befuddled Little Life You Choose, written by a friend of mine, and which is a great book and has inspiration and also practical steps to take. So then not only did I go ahead and add her book to the wish list, so maybe we can get her onto that most wished for book list, which would be fun. I also reposted her post into the Business Networking Tips group and introduced and said, hey, look, one of our very own members is just asked, doesn't cost anything, takes a moment to do that, to add it to your wish list. And then why would we not do that, right? Why wouldn't we help each other out?
That's one thing that I love. That's one thing I love too about the online community. So life and networking is all about building community. So you make connections, you're building community. How do you build community? Not by calling Scott up and saying, hey, Scott, will you do all this stuff for me? Or this is what I've got, and then dropping it and never talking to him again. Building community is like a family, and you are continually giving to that process. Like Scott saying, you're continually helping out your friends, helping out people. I put time aside to help people out, to forward. Like there's this independent planner from this great guy named D. Scott Smith that I know that is great. And thank you, David, for the good comments. And you know, the thing with that planner too is it's something that Scott had wanted to put forward, and through networking and connecting, he made that come about. Actually produced and put together in Great Britain, right?
And it's handmade in England by Trevor Lorkings.
Yeah.
So he makes the covers are handmade. The corners are put on there. The rivets and the elastic, all the printing. He laid this whole thing out. And it's nice quality. Gold tracking in it.
Yeah, it's nice quality. And, you know, Scott knows that I am not a big hand planner guy. I do everything online, but I got one of those for my daughter who loves that kind of stuff, and she thought it was fabulous. And
you
so
be the hero.
There you go. You know, I mean, it's just a matter of supporting each other. And that's the thing too, is whether it costs a few bucks or most of it really doesn't cost you anything but time. It's just helping and supporting each other. And that's what I love about the online community, is that everybody that you, Scott, you and I've been involved with is all about helping each other. No one's there. People aren't like competing so much that I can't tell you, I can't tell you. No, it's like, hey, let me tell you what I've done. Let me tell you what I've already been through and what I've found. And it helps each other. And
as we're talking about the networking, you got those 5 rules in there. And I know that with the COVID lockdowns, with the restrictions that we have on getting together, that a lot of people have been discouraged about networking. I think, you know, we're really coming up on a year here for this experience with this pandemic. And although we've got a vaccine released and being deployed, and I'm talking to folks that are getting the shots, including my cousins, and it's going very well. We're still going to have a lot of time before we can kind of get back to the regular type, and finding alternatives to chamber events or trade shows or other business mixers really is online. And so how do you find out who's out there? Well, tune into the experience and meet. So who are our two? So we have guests. It's basically a talk show format, right? So we're just going to bring in some interesting people, and you get to experience them with us and learn who they are. You'll be able to communicate with them directly through the chat, which doesn't happen in any other format. If they were just a speaker at an event, you might see them. They'll get mobbed at the end. Maybe you'll get a chance to talk to them. You get a chance to do it on through the experience. Who are the guests coming up this week?
Oh, so this week we have Stacy Rasky, who is incredible empowerment speaker, helping women, helping just people all over. She's based out of Florida. And also Brian Schulman, who is Mr. Social Distancing. He has 2 super good live shows every week on Wednesdays. He's got What's Good Wednesday. And that's at this point, it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe, on Wednesdays. Well, don't hold me to that. I'm going off memory. And then on Saturdays, he has Shout Out Saturday. What's really cool about that too, his shows, I pop on and off every week. So he brings me on live. Also, you can leave comments. One thing that I really like about live shows, like Scott said, is people that I know. For example, Cami Hoyza, who's going to be on the following week with us. She's out of Houston, Texas, and she was doing a live Houston social media breakfast last Friday, and she had a great guest on that was all about YouTube stuff. Very, very interesting. This plumber, and very, very successful. And so I actually typed in questions, and she goes, "Hey, Russ," and she asked the questions, but I'm not on the show. But they bring up your comments like Scott did a moment ago, and they can actually communicate back and forth with you. So that's the benefits of a live show. If you don't feel like it, if it's too early and your hair's not good, and that's really my problem. I'm worried about my hair. You don't have to come on. You can just type in and come on that way. That's a real plus. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We're looking forward to some really, really great people. And Scott and I have been bantering around about this, but I think you need to enjoy your journey and live the experience today.
Very clever.
There you go. That's my theme of the morning.
It's I just think this is wonderful times. I know there's been a lot of impact, but we're able to connect with people from around the world. We're not limited just by our geography. And so a buddy of mine named Brian Fanzo, a lot of people know Brian. It's Twitter. He'll let you know. Twitter changed his life, which was it's just a social media tool. But he had this great perspective, and that when we connect digitally through social media, but when we connect digitally and you meet people new for the first time, he says it changes handshakes into hugs. And so those people that we're connecting with through the live shows, through the experience, through the Global Tea Break, through the other shows that are out there by Tim Sohn and Jim Fuse and Alan Hennessy and Cami and so many different folks that are out there. When you're connecting with them, when we do have those opportunities to meet face to face, we will not just shake hands, we'll be embracing.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And, Stacy Rasky also has a new podcast out. I don't know if you saw that. I'm sure she'll bring that up when we talk.
Influential CEO.
There you go. And she is full of energy also. And, me, I love people full of energy. So
that's right. And we got to get people started off. So this Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, as like 3 p.m. GMT. So people around the world will be able to tune in. And with that, I'm going to wind down this 30-minute networking Q&A for the 11th of January, 2021. So many people are happy to say 2021. And so I'm going to see if I can actually this time share my audio with the outro, and we'll wind out. Russ, hang on. I'll talk to you in just a moment there.